This is Van Electric Ghost, and this is a current episode of our show where we talk about indie music and we talk to artists from around the world. But this episode is about Van Electric Ghost music and the song Distorted Truth. Distorted Truth was a song we wrote. It's kind of in the tradition of a dark ghost track that we call If Love Has No Ceiling, Why Is My Heart on the Floor? It's about the kind of distortions that happen in relationships where perception is reality, and sometimes feelings that you have toward someone are not returned, or you don't return those feelings to that person, or there's a lack of empathy, there's oversensitivity. There's all the things that kind of take a relationship and throw it into the trash heap and tear it apart. And sometimes you have a working relationship with somebody, and something happens and you just can't continue to work, and it just becomes a big mess. And we were living through that in the last year, from 2017 to 2018, and we've used that pain of that situation to create the Dark Ghost songs, which have been released on all the streaming platforms as singles, and now we're working toward, taking what we feel are the best songs and putting them into several volumes of albums that are going to be on CD through Amazon. And this particular song is in the running to be on Volume 1. We've talked about before that the main core 3 songs that will be on the first volume are Sonic Twin, If Love Has No Ceiling, Why Is My Heart on the Floor, and Dark Ghost, Souls Never to Move Toward. All these other songs I've been working on in the last 6 months are now in the running. We've done some things in our workflow to increase our capabilities, Our recording capability was increased by the Zoom R24. We got the Moog D-Fam for analog percussion. We've got a Studio Electronics microphone. We got the VT4 vocal transformer from Roland. We got the drummer from Another Mother from Moog. We've got an Arturia 6U with a Make Noise Math utility module and a Make Noise Morphogene. All these things have given us new life to a bunch of songs and have created the vibe for the Dark Ghost album, which is basically an idea that's in the Dark Ghost song that sometimes you meet a soul that you should never know. Sometimes you meet a soul you should never move toward, that you should never hold, you should never love, you should never, have anything to do with. And it's kind of a breakup type of ideology that, sometimes even when that thing goes so bad, you just feel it's like love was a phantom in the night. It was like darkness, it was nothing. It just doesn't make you feel good. And love without love is no love at all, and so that's a consistent theme through Dark Ghost. And it's at a microcosm level, at an individual level, and it's also at a macrocosm level, going back to a book of poetry we published when we were in our 20s called Cancer. I am a cancer survivor. From age 27, I had a sarcoma, and then I beat it, had radiation treatment, had several surgeries, and I've been in remission ever since, and I'm at age 51. And traumatic events like that kind of scar you, but also prepare you for the hard times in life. And 2017 was a really hard time. We lost my father to Alzheimer's, lost one of my best friends, my brother's first wife, died from MS, and I lost the relationship I had with an individual I won't name, where we worked on a project, and a bunch of bad things happened to her in her personal life, and then I wasn't able to hold on and wait. I wasn't patient enough to wait for her to come back, and maybe she wasn't ever going to come back from that because she had some tragedies in her life, and we were working on a project. It was selfish or self-centered in some ways, but you live and you learn. I'm sorry for all that, but that's part of what happens in life. You don't know what you can handle, what you can't handle, and it was just my truth that I couldn't handle the disconnection in that situation, so I broke off. But I always felt like if in the song, if love has no ceiling, why is my heart on the floor, that the whole situation was already breaking apart before the tragedies, that this person who was already pulling away was starting to disengage, and I don't think they were fully honest about that, and it just made it easier when all the other things happened. So this is what artists do. You take a personal situation and you use it to create art. So in that vein, we talk to a lot of artists around the world. We just talked to Jess Davis, who's an actor in New York City. We had a really good conversation, 2-hour-long conversation about her work. She's got a film called Clay. She's actually going to be on the Netflix Punisher season 2. She has a clothing line. We've talked to her for a long time. We're just kind of blue skying it out there, that we've always wanted to have Josephine Electric portrayed by an actress or a dancer, and we're just putting out there one day that we'll talk to her directly, that it would be cool if Jess Davis actually played Josephine in a video for us. So if she ever listens to what we're doing, that would be cool. We'll probably float it to her at some point. I know she's real busy, but her vibe is so awesome. I was just kind of blue skying it in my head that, if she could put together a project with us to have a Josephine Electric actually come to life, I think she'd be the best person. We had thought about some other folks to do that, but after all this time and having several conversations with Jess Davis, that would be really cool. So that's just a float idea. Haven't talked to her about it, so no fans, don't pressure nobody, don't say nothing about it. Other than, I guess you could float it, but we're just kind of blue skying it. We are somewhat disappointed that Teenage Engineering has kind of done it again. When the OP1 came out, they didn't make enough of them for the demand. And the OPZ has the same situation. We were on a wait list with Sweetwater for since October. And now we've been told that we're not going to get it till March. And we were hoping to do a lot of cool videos with that and actually use it for Dark Ghost. And now it looks like that's not going to happen. So we're maybe changing the game and thinking about Grandmother. We're thinking about Model 24. Given the fact that we're recording a Model 24 would probably be a good investment to go back and do a remaster of all the Dark Ghost tracks with the analog workflow on this mixer, which is very exciting. It has knob per function on all the compression utilities and different effects. We're thinking that would give a lot of power, a lot of luster to our mix. We have been using Land.com, and we've been successful in promoting most of our music onto all the platforms at a quality that's enough to be, validated for streaming services. But we're always looking to increase our sonic capabilities, and we think the Tascam R24 would be a great machine. Back in the day, we had a Tascam 4-tracker that we originally wrote music before we were the Ghost back in the 90s. We used to use it with a D5 Roland and a chord sequencer. We wrote a lot of songs that are on our SoundCloud. Some of these ideas were on our SoundCloud, and I think we'll probably put out a project on Landar of our early instrumental recordings with that don't have any voices on them. Don't have Josephine, don't have the Phantom. So we're planning on doing that, but the Dark Ghost is the main thing we're working on right now. And we're excited to keep on recording and keep on pushing. And we are supported now by corporate sponsors. Anchor itself is a sponsor now, and they have ads that they can run on these podcasts. We also have a sponsor that's CIN Pals, which is a social network that has validation where people are able to get verified and background checked. So the goal of CIN Pals is to have folks, verified and checked. So then if people want to meet physically to not date, but to actually have social interactions, go to coffee shops, go to conventions, hang out, go to restaurants, just have a pal that you can trust that has the same ideas, that maybe is not somebody you're trying to date, but is somebody you want to hang out with. So it's a cool idea, and we're going to be actually on the platform shortly because we've been given access as part of our promotion for them. We are also promoting Infatuation, theinfatuation.com. They're a site that allows you to get restaurant reviews on demand through text and through their site to figure out where to eat. And that's probably, you're going to hear that on this podcast. There's a little promo we did for them. And this is part of being an indie artist. You have to find ways to get sources of income to drive what you're doing. We like to be indie because we are able to put out material whenever we want. And right now we're working toward the CD of Dark Ghost. We're also thinking about putting together a picture book with lyrics. We kind of like a poem book, kind of like what we did with Cancer a long time ago. But we would have the art that we've been doing. We create artwork ourselves for every song we create. We create videos that with images that we create ourselves. We did have Chernobyl.com do the To Infinitum album. But for this project, Dark Ghost, we're going to actually do the art ourselves. And we're thinking of doing a book on Amazon to go with what we do for the record. So, excuse me, that's all what's going on right now, and we're hopefully you'll be sticking with us. We've got a big following now on Anchor with 3.4 K followers, and we're excited that we got the kind of volume. Our SoundCloud's got over 77,000 listens. Fanburst is at 39,000. So we're starting to move up, and we're hoping to collaborate with Stephen Kidd and the Wolf Sparrow crew from New Hampshire. We had done that a couple years ago. We're hoping to collaborate with the band, The Heritage from Bermuda, and we're always looking to collaborate with all kinds of artists out there. So if you like what we're doing, you want to hear, authentic synth, new wave, progressive music, and you think we could add to your mix, contact us through Anchor. You can send us a voice memo. You can get to us on our Instagram, expansive_sound experiments. So expansive_sound_experiments. Then you can talk to us directly. Thank you. This is Family Like the Ghost, and we just re-recorded Hate Couture, and we were able to get the noise out of the mix with a noise tool that we got for our recording flow. So now we're putting up a new version called Hate Couture, Fuck That Untoward Wretch. And, we've been in this mode where we very, lost in our resentments. We know we wrote a song say, you should, get rid of your resentments and get rid of fix your karma and, lose your resentments. But sometimes you can't. There's some people in life that you just, you get a big hate on, so given the environment today, with the politics and everything, you can kind of guess what's going on in terms of resentment on both sides of the aisle. And as artists, we can tap into that and try to do something creative with it. So what we've done to here is just clean up the song, get rid of the noise, and made a title that will probably offend some people, but that's what's going on with our head right now. And part of the whole dark ghost thing is that we go into the dark side of what's going on in life, and is part of it. So enjoy the noiseless version. Oh, hello. Hi.
Hi.
You might want to turn down something in the background. I'm hearing something.
Sorry?
I was hearing something in the background.
Okay, there is nothing now.
Okay, so this is Fam Electric Ghost. We do indie recording interviews with bands around the world. We have Jester Society on the line. So I just wanted to do that little intro. So thank you for joining the show.
Thank you to me to host us.
So you're from, is it called Brescia, Italy?
We are Italian. We are from Brescia, Italy.
Yes. So your band is described as an indie pop, alternative synth, electro punk band. Is that the best description?
Yeah, we are random stuff around electro indie.
Yeah, that's
something
cool.
Like synth pop,
Mm-hmm.
something like, if you want to consider rock, something like Gorillaz or something like that.
Yeah, you're alternative in that way, but you're also you introduced to electronic music that's kind of getting big again. I'm an electronic musician myself. But let me go through the questions. I don't know if I sent you the questions, so we can kind of go through that to keep some structure. Yeah. So when did you first get into music? Like what age?
Normal. Me as Marco, I'm the bass and singer, the lead singer.
Yeah.
I started when I was 15 with my first band. We were doing something like punk rock, and then I changed into more electronic music, and then I started this band just because electronic music I like to start electronic music, and that's why I started this band now.
Mm-hmm. So what electronic music band got you into electronic music from punk? Like
21 Pilots, maybe the best one.
Okay.
But also the Muse.
Okay.
And also swimmers, the new swimmers.
So when
And
when you were into punk music, what punk bands did you were you inspired by?
when I was in punk music, Green Day, Blink 182, bands like that, pop punk bands.
Yeah. So have you tried to kind of integrate some of the punk aesthetic into your electronic, or you've left it all behind?
No, we made a lot of punk aesthetic in the music we are making now, and that's the particularity of the band. It's a mix between the punk and the electronic music.
So let me get into a little more depth. So in terms of instruments, what instruments do you play?
I'm the bass. I play bass,
Okay.
and also plays a Korg, Volca bass,
Okay.
um, uh, M audio keyboard,
Okay.
and then an iPad with GarageBand synths.
So you do a lot of recording with GarageBand. You use the audio.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
audio.
we use it for pre-production, and then also in live sets we use the iPad.
Oh, cool. So you use iPad. Yeah, there's a lot of people that are using that. I mean, you've got a lot of people that use Pro Tools or they use, FL Studio. But I've talked to a bunch of artists that have actually been able to use the iPad and GarageBand and some of the soft synths on the
Yeah, there are
iPad.
a lot of good things in that. Yeah.
Yeah, so you find that that's very useful. It gives you a different kind of workflow.
Also, there is here the keyboard man.
Hi.
Hi. So what in terms of the keyboards? Let me introduce yourself.
Yes, of course. I'm I'm drama in the band, the one of the mask.
Okay, great.
So
So you play live analog drums or like electronic drums?
no, I don't play drums. I play synth.
Okay.
I play normally piano
Okay.
and stuff like that.
So
And the other mask, Alessandro, the other mask,
oh, okay.
he's the drum player.
So okay. So on the keyboards, because I'm a keyboardist, what kind of synth keyboards do you play, or keyboards in general? What brands or models?
Normally now I play with a lot of synth, and also I use Logic Pro and Ableton.
Okay.
So
So
I
you use a lot of synth plugins on like MIDI
yes, of course.
MIDI controllers.
Yeah, normally now I have a Korg.
Record.
A Korg one, yeah, the Volca FM, the last one I used for record the last song we did,
Mm-hmm.
and
That's
and
cool.
that's it.
That's cool. So have you thought about using some analog synthesizers or Euroracks in your recording?
Sorry, can you repeat? We can.
My question is, would you be interested in using analog synths like Moogs or using Euroracks?
Now we're not using so much, but we're going to use it in the future. We have to take and try it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I'm a big proponent of mixing both, modern digital synths with traditional analog synths like, Arturias, Moogs, Eurorack modules, because then it gives you a lot of customization in terms of kind of old school sound.
Yeah, I know that, but we have to take that and try in the future. Surely we're going to try it.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff you can do with that. I mean, the things you're using, you can do amazing things with all the tools you're saying. And a lot of bands can stay within those tools and not use the analog at all. But there seems to be a resurgence in the analog with companies like Moog and Prophet, and even Korg has analog synths. So there's a lot of analog sounds that are coming back, and I'm kind of a child of the 70s. So I appreciate, I'm old. I mean, I'm somewhat older. I'm in my 50s. So I come from a time when analog synths were the primary synths.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of have a sweet spot for those. So you just said, like, when you record, you don't use like a traditional digital audio like a DAW. You use GarageBand, so you don't use like Pro Tools or
We
FL Studio.
normally in the pre-production we use Logic and GarageBand,
Okay,
but
that's fine.
then when we go to the studio to record the singles of the song, and normally the producer use Logic, I think,
Okay,
but also Ableton Live.
Ableton Live. Okay, yeah. So you do use those traditional.
Yeah.
That's cool. So, like when you said, so do you do mostly recording in your own studios, or do you go to traditional recording studios? You just mentioned maybe you do go to a traditional recording studio.
Yeah.
To master.
Yeah, to master it, but also to improve the sounds for the song.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a pre-production don't have all the sounds good, but when you go to the traditional studio, everything sounds good. Okay, and then also the master we do.
So you're using like professional recording engineers or just a producer?
No, we use a producer and a professional recording engineer.
That's cool.
With the last single, Floating in the Blue, we recorded in London with a Spanish producer and an engineer, and sounds really, really cool.
Yeah, I was looking at your single Nico and the Niners.
The other one, it is a cover. That is a cover of 21 Pilots song, but that it was recorded with Logic by ourselves. It was a try to know what could be our sound.
Okay, so that one you did yourselves.
Yeah, that one, yeah. But the other one, Floating in the Blue, we have done in a traditional studio.
So are you working on a full album?
Now, yeah, we are working on it. But before we've got another single ready. Is called Hail Drama, and later we're going to release an album, 14-track album. And then we're starting a tour here in Italy, and later in Europe. Yeah.
Oh, so you're gonna do a tour throughout Europe?
Yeah. Maybe in I think this summer, around Europe, UK, Germany, France, also Russia. Maybe we are organizing it.
So are you gonna be on the festival circuit or more on the club circuit?
But we prefer clubs because it's smaller, and we are in touch with people. You know, is better for us.
So you like dealing with like what 300-400 size crowd rather than the big festival crowds?
Yeah.
Because you feel that you can get in, the audience is more intimate and you can get a reaction better.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah.
Because yeah.
So like do you have to like have like for your rigs that you bring on stage, do you have to have roadies or you're able to set everything up yourself?
No, we take everything by ourselves. We got a minibus, and we do everything with it. We go around with it.
Oh, cool. So do you when you do a show, how much time does a venue give you to set up your equipment?
But normally, normally half an hour.
Half hour? Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're a traditional band that actually has to do a sound check. Not like some of these bands today that are really more like DJs and hip hop guys that will just bring a laptop and they can be immediately set up. You still have to kind of go through the setup of your drums and
we have to set up everything, also the keyboards, the bass, the guitar, and
I'm the same way. I have road cases. I'm a one-man band, but I have to set myself up. I'll bring a guy to help me. But yeah, I mean, some clubs in the U.S. are not used to seeing people run things like that. They typically would think that I'm a DJ and think that I don't need a half hour, but I need a half hour just like you guys.
Surely.
Because like I'm bringing a whole rig, with road cases, and that's
I've seen your stuff over there, a lot of stuff. So
it's people don't seem to just because you're an electronic artist doesn't mean you're just using a laptop or an iPad. If you actually have synths or keyboards or drummers or guitar players and bass players, so you actually are a little bit more like a traditional rock and roll band, which a lot of clubs, would give you enough time to do that. But there's some kind of, this kind of music has changed. So have you kind of run into, playing where they're DJs and having, issues with, the clubs not realizing that, you're not like that, and it takes you guys a little longer to set up?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's always been a rub for me. But yeah. So have you done shows as the Justice Society this year? Have you done a lot of shows, or you just ramping up?
Here we did 3 shows with the new with the new with the new setup of the band.
Yeah.
But we are looking forward to do more shows.
Yeah, that's cool. So have you thought about collaborating with other bands, or are you just focusing
Yeah, we did.
on your own stuff?
No, we did with the last single with the American MC Isaac B.
Yeah.
And the
Orbitalist? Yeah.
yeah, with the Orbalist, the producer is London based.
Mm-hmm. So are you thinking that you're going to do more of that, or does your album have more like features or guests on it?
No, we are going to do more, surely, because we're going to do more stuff with other people to improve also our genre, because it's a mix our genre. So it's better if we do with other people from other genres. So that's why.
Yeah, because that would be really cool if you were able, because you have those punk aesthetic, that if you actually had like a punk band like collaborate with you, or have like an EDM DJ or EDM artist collaborate with you guys, that would like fit within what you're doing, because you have the multi-genre band, so you're in a lot of different areas, and so I think that's cool. I think even like jazz.
Yeah, that's what we are pointing to.
Yeah, I think even jazz would be cool. I think jazz and hip hop would really integrate.
As we didn't think about it, but it could be a cool idea.
Yeah, I think that would be really awesome. But I think, because like in music today, the thing that I'm kind of gravitating toward is when I see bands that mix genres. I'm very interested in that. I like bands that do that, because I think it helps push music forward when people have multiple references. And I've always been very interested in bands that do that. So I think you got the right formula. You got the right like bones to what you're doing. I think that will make you like be more resilient and more current in my opinion.
Yeah, thanks, mate.
So yeah, so what are your thoughts on the way the music industry works, like streaming and vinyl, and just the way radio is today? How do you feel what's the best way to reach your audience?
Well, about streaming services, there are good points and bad points. Good points are that you can reach everyone around the world, and that's why also we have an audience abroad from Italy. We have a big audience in the States and in UK, and but there is a bad point that is that there are not so much money for bands.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the days of when you a 99-cent download on iTunes, you would get a lot of that money. It depends on how you put it out. If you self-put it out, you'll get a lot of that. With streaming, you get like less than pennies. It takes a lot of streams. You have to be a major to really make money on streaming. It's more like radio. It's good, and I think I think bands today it's my opinion, bands make money from their shows, from their merch, from their merch. That's what you make your money on. And the streaming is more like the radio promotion to let people know you're there, and then you use that, and you have to kind of know you're not really going to get a lot out of it until you really break through. But have you thought about releasing things on vinyl and physical CDs, and do you make money from your merch?
Yeah, but nowadays not a lot of people buys the CDs or vinyl. We want to do that. We really want to do a physical CD with our album, but
Yeah, it's
we know
hard.
that people normally don't buy it, but prefer stream on Spotify or iTunes Music.
Well, yeah. In the U.S., what I found is if you physically bring CDs to a show, like in New York City, or you bring vinyl to a show and you have a person selling it at the show, you will sell it.
Yeah, sure, but in your city is different from Italy. In Italy, it's not like that so much.
Oh, so Europe, you guys are, because in America, there's like a resurgence in vinyl. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of kids, like if you do a show in New York and you have a vinyl, and you have even a 45 or you have a 78 or, or even a 33. If you have your album in that form, people will buy it, and they'll spend $20, $25, $30. But maybe in Europe, that's not the case. But around here, they really seem to be into it.
Okay, we didn't know about that. So
Yeah.
if we come to New York, we want to make also vinyls, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you bring like 100 copies or 150 copies, I mean, you find a way to make it, that many and be profitable. Then like the key to vinyl is you do it in low micro batches. You find companies that will produce it at a reasonable price, and if you have such a small volume, you kind of wait for the demand to go back up, and then you run another 150. I mean, it's not like you're going to make tons of money, but it gives your fans like collector's items, and it gives you something to bring to a show. And if you're doing small clubs and stuff, it's kind of cool. So you have something that you can give your fans, and eventually, it will drive, you to maybe make a CD once you make enough profit doing that. Because you can't, the vinyl in the US is very profitable. So a lot of bands are switching to that format.
Yeah, but we've seen also in UK, but in Italy at the time is not so popular. That's a problem, But
yeah, I guess you guys have really bought into the electronic streaming more. And maybe in America there's like a romanticism about vinyl, and so vinyl record stores have tons of vinyl now. Record stores have come back in the U.S. with vinyl.
That's amazing,
Yeah.
I love to play music on vinyl. So
I think it's great because I grew up. I'm 50. I grew up listening to Led Zeppelin and Rush and Yes and Jimi Hendrix on vinyl. That's what I would, and I remember that vinyl. One thing about vinyl that I remember was it made you listen to a band's entire album, because you had to sit down, and once you turned it on, you weren't going to skip. So I think what's cool about vinyl for an artist and their fans is if you do an album and it has a theme, people who listen to your music on vinyl actually listen to it all the way, unlike on streaming where they'll kind of pick and choose. So I think it's a really good form if you're a band that wants to do albums, because then you're able to get your audience to really understand what you're trying to do with a project. So it's a cool thing to think about, but it's maybe not so big where you guys are.
Yeah, it's a good idea. We've got to do that. Also for American, when we go to US, we got to do some vinyls.
Yeah, I think maybe in Asia they might be into it too. It depends. I think in Japan they would probably dig it. Yeah. So, is there anything else you want to tell your fans about in terms of what you're doing on your project? So you got your new album coming out. You got a tour. You're just going to be playing mostly Europe. Are you thinking of ever coming to the States?
Yeah, maybe one day we will come to the States, but now we just started the project with the new lineup. So we have to test how it's live, and we have to try it before starting a world tour, or come to the States. But we really want to say thanks to all the guys that's listening us from the States, because for us that we come from a little, really really little town in Italy, being listened to people from the States, but really a lot of people from the States, it's amazing. It's
Yeah, well, and, Instagram is really great for musicians. I've been using Instagram.
yeah, we are using it. It's
Yeah.
that's one of the ways we reach the fans.
Yeah,
And,
that's what I was going to say, because I've been able to talk to a lot of bands from other countries. I talked to the Muted from London and some other bands from Canada, people in Berlin, in Sweden and Netherlands. And it's because on Instagram seems to be a community of musicians. There's a lot of models and actresses and stuff, but there are a lot of musicians on Instagram. And most of my guests come from me, looking at all the indie musicians on Instagram and, reaching out to them and seeing if they wanted, have an interest. And it's been a good bridge, because I think as musicians and, producers, it's always good to hear what other people are doing around the world. And, a lot American music, our delivery systems, our radio is not that great. It's kind of boring. And so we found that social media, the SoundClouds of the world, the Fanburst, Instagram, YouTube, this is where all the new music is happening, and where different, bands from around the world, like your band, are you can find them where you might not find you on the radio, but we can find you there. And I think that's really the future of music, is really people like yourselves, having the guts to say they want to do what they want to do. They have an idea, they have a feel for what they want to create. And then you go out and do it. And then the audience, finds you. And I think that's great. That's the one good thing about, I think, social media and streaming, is it allows people to find bands from all over the world. And I appreciate that you guys are doing what you're doing. And,
thanks.
I want to support you guys. So, like, in the future, when your album comes out, if you want to come on the show and talk about it again,
surely, mate,
in detail, we'll love to have you come on. That would be great.
Really, really thanks so much. So thanks for everything. Here in Italy at the moment is 2 a.m. So we stayed up for this.
So we're gonna publish your this podcast tonight. Within the next half hour, it's gonna go out to Spotify, Apple, Anchor, Stitcher, Google. It goes out to 10 different platforms.
Cool.
I'll give you about 5 of them. I'll just send you as they get published. But tonight you will be on Spotify, you will be on Apple. And so, this is something we do for free. We do have sponsored, so don't be offended. We do have some corporate sponsors that will be like on your segment, but not like in the middle of your conversation. But, that's how we are able to do this. But this is what we like to do. We like to give bands a chance to talk about what they're doing. And I'm glad you guys stayed up. So get some rest, and I'll send the links through your Instagram as they get available. And, keep on doing what you're doing. We will talk to you when you guys are ready again. And thank you for coming on.
Thank you to you, mate. Really. Man. Thanks so much. And see you one day. So
okay, yeah. I'm planning on coming to Europe at some point. Sure. Hopefully next year I'll be touring, so maybe we'll run into each other.
Cool. Thanks.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.